Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you my winter makeup routine. I have been really wanting to show this to you guys because I have been obsessed with my current foundation routine. This is the look that I throw on when I don't have a lot of time, and when I don't have a lot of time, it's important that my base is really perfected. I like to really perfect like my skin, cover up my skin, and do something more simple on the eyes. Typically day to day, I'll just throw on a mascara and I'll totally skip eyeshadow altogether. So that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today. I'm going to be showing you my everyday winter makeup routine, more focusing so on like the foundation routine and how I've been doing more of like a luminous glowy look, but still keeping it very long lasting on the skin. I really hope that you guys enjoy seeing this video. I don't know if you could tell, but I finally got my microphone back, so I hope all of the audio issues are fixed. I hope it sounds good, and if you guys want to see my everyday winter makeup routine, make sure to keep on watching. I feel like you guys know the drill by now. The first thing that I always like to do is spray some Fix Plus on my face. You guys don't have to use Fix Plus. You could totally use something from the drugstore. I really like this Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. Both of these are very, very similar and essentially do the same thing on the skin. I'm running pretty low on this. I definitely need to put that on my list to pick up a new one. You guys know I could not do my makeup without Fix Plus at all. It's totally essential for me. If I was doing a full face of makeup, I would go ahead and do my eyes first, but since we are just gonna throw some mascara on at the end, I'm gonna focus on the base first. Like I said, that is my priority when doing this like quick everyday makeup look. So for primer, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is my favorite primer all year round. I'm pretty sure I showed this to you guys even in my summer makeup routine that I filmed like last May or June. It's just a really great universal year-round primer. Actually, today when I am filming this video, e.l.f. released a luminous version as well as a matte version of the Poreless Putty Primer, which I'm really excited. I definitely want to go out and see if I could find them because that would be awesome to have a luminous version of this in the winter. But overall, this is just my favorite primer. I find it to be pretty hydrating. Although it doesn't claim to be hydrating, I just find this to be so nice and hydrating on the skin. It leaves my skin with the most just like natural look to it, and it does really, really smooth out my pores. I see a huge difference when I use this and when I don't use this in the appearance of my pores and just overall how my skin looks. This is the best primer that I've ever tried on my skin. I personally think it's a staple, especially for me when it comes to smoothing or pore covering, because I do have pretty large pores and pretty textured skin. I feel like a primer really makes a difference, especially the Poreless Putty Primer in combination with the foundation I'm going to be using today and that I've been loving to use all winter, and that is the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. I know this is not like a review on this foundation, but can I just say I am absolutely obsessed with this packaging. I think Anastasia killed it. This feels so heavy and like luxurious, and I'm just overall obsessed with everything about this foundation. So I have mine in the shade 210N, which is classified as a light neutral shade. I typically am very, very neutral, but there's something about this foundation that I don't find to be super neutral. I find this specific shade to be a little bit more on the warm side. It has a little bit more of a yellow undertone to it. So this is a little bit yellow on me. I probably would go a shade up or maybe just get a different undertone, but you guys will see it is just a little bit yellow on my skin and like half a shade too dark at the moment, but I'm obsessed with the finish of it, so I'm just gonna make it work. So here's what the foundation looks like after one layer. I think it is absolutely beautiful, and you guys totally can stop here if you could. I personally want to do just a little bit more on the bottom half of my cheeks, like just in these areas. I tend to need just a little bit more coverage. I find that this foundation has a beautiful, beautiful high medium coverage, almost full coverage. I just need a little bit extra on just a couple spots on my face. This is looking really, really beautiful, and one of my favorite things about this particular foundation is that it doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all. It has a really beautiful high coverage, but it feels really lightweight. I don't even feel like I am wearing foundation on my skin. I am just obsessed with this, you guys. It is seriously like my perfect wintertime foundation. I would say concealer is one of those things that I don't really have a preference depending on if it's like summertime or wintertime. I really love a lot of my different concealers. I'm a huge lover of trying new concealers. I will show you guys. This is my little concealer bin right here that lives in my Alex drawers. I pretty much just like to rotate between all of them. My all-time favorite concealer is the Too Faced Born This Way, but this one in the shade Vanilla is just too dark for me right now in the winter. So the combination that I have been actually loving and using a lot is just a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral, in combination with the Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 185. I find that I really love the coverage of the Tarte Shape Tape, and I love the particular shade of it. Like I said, I wear this in Light Neutral, but I am running out of this. I really have to like scrape the sides of this super hard. And I like to put the Tarte Shape Tape just immediately in the inner corner of my eye. This is the darkest part of my eye where I tend to need the most coverage. So I will take my Shape Tape just right in there. As you guys can see, this shade is really, really close to the shade of the foundation. And then I will go ahead and take the Fenty Beauty. This one is a little bit lighter, a little bit more brightening, and I put this kind of towards the outer portion of my eye to brighten and lift. I don't know why, I've just really been loving like playing around with different combinations of concealer. I have so many, I'm trying to use them up, and this has been just a really pretty combination for me this winter because the Fenty concealer is also a lot more on the hydrating side. It's very emollient and creamy, so it mixes with the Anastasia foundation really, really well. Of course, for powder, so boring to you guys. I know, I've been using this powder for years. The Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 10 Light. This is the best loose powder ever. If you guys are my loyal viewers, you know I've been obsessed with this for years, but it is truly the best translucent powder. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set first everywhere that I put down my concealer. I definitely put the most powder on the center of my face on top of the concealer just to make sure that really stays in place, and also because there are just more layers of foundation and concealer on those spots. But when it comes to just the rest of my face where I just have the foundation, I use way less powder, and I'm just gonna take a little bit on a more like fluffy brush, even just kind of like get the excess off the brush, and just lightly tap this around the outsides of my face, but I really don't use a lot of powder. One thing that I've been doing more recently, which is such a great trick, I wanted to share this with you guys, is spraying Fix Plus not only just at the end of your makeup routine, but I like to do it in steps. So I like to do it before my makeup, after I powder, and then at the end again when everything is done, just to kind of keep everything natural looking as we go along, and just to prevent the makeup from looking too cakey from all of the layers. I'm sure this is something that you guys either already do or you've seen from other YouTubers here. I don't remember where or who I saw this trick from, but I've been trying it recently, and I feel like it really does help contribute to a more natural and fresh look to your makeup, to avoid a lot of powderiness or like that built up cakey look. So once that is dry, the next thing that I like to do is go in with blush, bronzer, all of that good stuff, and just to really simplify it and make it even quicker and even easier, I have been loving going in with a face palette that just has all three of my cheek products in it. This just makes the process faster, and I also really love these three colors for the winter time. So for bronzer in this palette, this is the classic NARS Laguna bronzer. So I'm just going to take this and bronze the skin like I normally would. In the winter, I try not to go like too overboard with my bronzer because obviously it could look a little unnatural. And of course, I cannot forget about the nose. This is something that I've been doing just a little bit more recently, and it's made the biggest difference. I don't know how I went so long without like bronzing, contouring my nose. I put it in air quotes because I don't really do it super precisely. I just think this gives my nose a little bit more shape and definition and makes it look a little bit more slim, because Lord knows I need that. For blush, I've just been using the one that is in this palette. This one is the Manava blush. I don't know if this is still available, but it's just kind of like a classic pinky blush. It's just like a pretty natural blush. And lastly, in this palette, using the highlighter, which is in the shade Makatia, highlighting blush powder. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that, highlighting blush powder. It's just a highlighter to me, and I really like it because it's definitely more on the icy side, but it's not too white. It's more of like an icy champagne that is really complimentary on my skin tone as well this time of year. Do you guys see that? Everything going on my face right now is just so luminous, and I'm obsessed. And lastly, for the highlighter, I'm gonna take it on a little Sigma brush and just place it on the inner corners of my eyes. When I do a look with no eyeshadow, I always have trouble with the concealer creasing on my lids. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's always an issue for me. So how I like to fix that is to go in with a little banana powder. This one is my favorite banana powder. This is the Makeup Revolution Bacon Blot Powder. And I just like to take that on this little Real Techniques setting brush and really just press down the creases. So I'll just go in and kind of smooth them out with my finger, dip into the banana powder, and just really almost like bake my eyelid. I find that the banana powder is one of the only thing that works to help keep the creases smooth all day long. And just take this powder and pretty much, like I said, just bake my lid. You guys might not like this technique if you have really dry eyelids, but this is like the only thing that works for me when it comes to preventing my concealer from creasing all day long. Now that all the powders are officially on my face, I'm going to do one last spray. You guys can totally go ahead and do another round of Fix Plus. I want to be just a little bit more extra and do actually an illuminating setting spray. So this is the Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray in the illuminating formula. It's not like super glowy. It doesn't have any glitters or anything in it. It just makes the skin a little bit more like glowy, hydrated looking than a traditional Fix Plus would. All right, you guys, and here is the base all done. Really full coverage, but also just so luminous and dewy. Every single angle that I turn my head, I feel like you could just see some sort of glow, whether it's coming from the cheek products or just the foundation and the primers themselves. This is just like my favorite way to keep my skin looking so dewy and fresh in the winter. Moving on to the brows, because brows are always crucial to me, even when I'm not wearing any eyeshadow or anything. I still like to add just a little bit of a brow, and I have been loving the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP pencil. I have mine in the shade medium brown, and this has just been my go-to. I love how this makes my eyebrows look. It's really quick and easy to fill them in, and I don't do anything crazy for a look like this. I just like to brush out the brows first, kind of get them into the shape that I like them to be. So that's really it for my everyday brows. Then I will just go in and take just a little tiny bit of brow powder just to kind of fluff up the brows a little bit more. For the eyes, I'm just gonna keep it really simple and just go ahead and pop on some mascara. My favorite mascaras recently have been the Essence Lash Princess mascaras. So for my top lashes, I'm gonna go ahead and use the False Lash Effect. And for my lower lashes, I'm also gonna use the False Lash Effect, but this is the waterproof version, just to keep anything from smudging or flaking. I have been loving this mascara combination. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop off camera really quick, do my mascara, and then we will be back to finish up the look. All right, so that is the mascara on. Really simple, you guys. That is all that I do for the eyes in this winter makeup routine. I really only have been wearing eyeshadow when I'm filming. So the last thing that we have to finish up now are the lips, and this is definitely something that changes day to day. I have a couple of favorites, but it kind of changes like depending on what I'm wearing, what I'm doing, how long I need the lipstick to last. Sometimes I will go in with this LA Girl Perfect Precision lip liner in the shade Sugar and Spice. I absolutely love the shade. It's like that perfect everyday type of mauve nude. And then sometimes I'll go in with my Fenty Fussy Gloss. Sometimes I really enjoy the House Laboratories combination of the liner in Endpoint and the gloss in Corset. Sometimes I'll do like a bold red lip or a really light nude lip. It kind of changes depending on my mood, but I think today I'm going to start off with the LA Girl Precision lip liner in Sugar and Spice. I'm feeling a little bit more of like a defined lip today, and these are really great lip liners. I believe they're only $2.99 at Ulta. My lips are looking a little bit dry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and top off the lip liner with MAC Velvet Teddy lipstick. This is one of my favorite lip shades in the winter because it's still nude, but it's not too light and peachy like a summer nude would be. It is just like that perfect everyday 90s type of lip, which I love wearing in the winter. Alright you guys, so that is going to complete this video. That is my everyday winter makeup routine that I've been absolutely loving. Specifically, I have been really loving this foundation routine, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. I have just been loving playing around with like different combinations on the skin, seeing what works best with my skin this type of year, playing around with this really fun and pretty dewy look, and I've just been loving these products. If you guys did enjoy this video and found it helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!